Good afternoon, everybody. It is June 22nd, Thursday, 2023. Okay, it is 3:47 in the afternoon. Okay, this is part 6 of the self-awareness exercise in the Feeling Good Handbook. Okay, this section is called Depression. Joanne is a 28-year-old woman who lives in New York and works as an options trader. As you probably know, options traders buy and sell futures on stocks, and they can make or lose vast amounts of money in incredibly short periods of time. The profession can make you or break you, and either way, it's enormously stressful. Joanne recently formed a partnership with a man who put up $100,000 as capital for her to invest. They agreed to share the profits. Joanne decided to pursue a conservative, low-risk investment strategy. For the past 3 months, Joanne made $4,000 a month in profits. For several months before that, she had averaged $12,000. She was distraught because of the decrease in profits and felt suicidal. I was curious why Joanne was so despondent and asked her to write down the negative thoughts that made her feel so bad. They included, among others, the thought that she was a failure and the belief that when her partner found out about her shoddy performance, he would be terribly disappointed and fire her. Can you identify the distortions in her thoughts? Check the 10 forms of twisted thinking and put your ideas here. Okay, and there's ways we can write it down. One of the distortions is all or nothing thinking. Joanne thinks that if she isn't doing stupendously and making a fortune every single month, then she's a total failure. This may seem ridiculous to you since $4,000 profit per month is hardly a failure. However, it feels like a failure to Joanne because of her perfectionist attitude. She reasons, I feel like a total failure, therefore I must really be one. This illustrates a second distortion, emotional reasoning. Since Joanne assumes that her negative feelings necessarily reflect the way things really are, a third distortion is fortune telling. Since Joanne is predicting that the return of the investment will continue to be mediocre, there's no real evidence for this. You could also call this an overgeneralization, since she imagines that the low profit months will continue endlessly. A fourth distortion would be should statements. Joanne is telling herself she should always make big profits, but if you look at her overall performance, this is clearly an unrealistic expectation. She had some $12,000 months and she's had some $4,000 months, so her average monthly profit is actually $8,000. That's not bad. It actually amounts to an annual rate of appreciation of nearly 100%. She simply hasn't accepted the fact that market conditions are inherently unpredictable and that her income will fluctuate greatly from month to month. There's no such thing as an investor who always scores big. Joanne would do well to stop demanding so much of herself and to make her expectations more realistic. She's also involved in mind reading. She assumes with absolutely no evidence that her partner will be as angry and disappointed as she is, and that he will fire her. As part of her psychotherapy homework, I insisted that she talk things over with her partner. Joanne was quite reluctant to do this and procrastinated for weeks. I twisted her arm and she finally agreed. Joanne was amazed to learn that her partner was quite satisfied with her performance. He told Joanne she could feel free to take even greater risks, and that even if she lost the entire $100,000, she'd still have a job. You can see that the solution to Joanne's depression involved a combination of self acceptance and change. Joanne had to change her distorted thinking patterns so she could assess her situation more realistically. She wasn't making an absolute killing, but she wasn't a complete failure either. At the same time, she had to accept the fact that she would always be a big winner, and that good months would be followed by bad ones, and vice versa. Sometimes more humble and modest expectations can be tremendously liberating, although it may stimulate our egos to think we're so brilliant and hardworking that we will always succeed. Carrying the burden of having to be so great and so perfect can be overwhelmingly frustrating and lonely. Okay, so that is all for part 6, depression, in the self-awareness exercise in the Feeling Good Handbook. If you like this content, like this video or comment below. Thank you very much, and thank you for watching.